Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special broadcast of Celebrity Dad Jokes, where we have some very famous people from the local area that are going to tell us their favorite dad jokes. And so I would like you in the comments below to go ahead and put in your favorite dad joke. And at the end, you can go ahead and vote for your favorite dad joke of the evening. So I'll get it started. No problem. I'll get it started. And I'm going to ask my celebrity panel here, why are elephants large, gray, and lumpy?
Large, gray, and lumpy.
I don't know why.
Because if they were small, white, and smooth, they would be an aspirin. All right, so we are now going to introduce Chip Millay, famous Chip Millay from WIOI, and he is going to go ahead with his celebrity dad joke.
Yeah, well, I don't know if famous, infamous might be more appropriate, and it's not really a dad joke. My dad joke would be, he's glad I'm in radio because I have a face for it. Larry can relate to that, right? But I find that some of the best jokes are things that actually happen to you personally, that you can make it funny. Now, my wife and I, Ginger, we dated in high school and then later got back together 40 years later. So we're kind of in our romantic honeymoon, newlywed state. So sometimes with this COVID-19 stuff going on, we've been together in the house a lot, but we have our own space. And just the other day, Ginger sent me a really romantic text. So she texted me and she wrote, "If you're sleeping, send me your dreams. And if you're laughing, send me your smile. If you're eating, send me a bite. If you're drinking, send me a sip. But if you're crying, send me a tear. I love you." And I wrote, "Aw, I love you too, but I'm on the toilet. Please advise."
That was good.
Awaiting further instruction.
That was good.
All right, who's next?
I'll go.
Okay.
As Chip said, very famous is a stretch. It's a big stretch. I'm Andrew McManus. I'm 4th Ward City Council, and I bug people to death with a cooking show, with a food column, with movie reviews. They can't get enough of me, I guess. So, I have a prompt for my joke. It's a simple one. I'm sure you've heard it. What kind of doctor was Dr. Pepper?
What kind of doctor was Dr. Pepper?
He was a physician.
Physician.
I'm also not a dad. Unfortunately, my mom will tell you I'm definitely not a father. I hear it every single day. I need to have kids. So that's a joke, though.
A physician.
Physician.
Oh,
That's
man.
good.
Who's next?
I guess I can go.
Okay.
My name's Edwin Martell. Definitely not famous, but 5th Ward City Councilman, among other things as well. Browns fan as well. That's the
Go
joke,
Browns.
right? Is that the joke? No.
Oh, man.
So my dad joke is going to be, why are skeletons so calm?
Why are skeletons so calm? Wait a minute, we got to scratch our dad beard. All right, tell us.
Because nothing gets under their skin.
That is. That's literal. Very good. Who's next?
Go ahead, Jenny.
Well, Edwin kind of reminded me of him talking about the Dr. Pepper. It wasn't what I had in mind, but I was at a library conference out in Minnesota, and my best friend, we were together, and we were at this Irish pub, and she kept ordering a big ginger after a big ginger after a big ginger. So finally, the fella next to her, she goes, I think he's at the conference with us. I said, well, he could be. And she goes, are you at the conference? And he said, yes. And she goes, us too. She goes, what do you do? And he told us what he did. And he said, well, what do you do? And she goes, I'm a physical officer. So instead of a fiscal officer, she was a physical officer because she had. So that story it's reminding me of that. And I thought, you know what? Everybody else knows that story. I might as well just put it out there.
That's pretty good, Jenny.
All right.
You should have been there.
Yeah.
I think I was.
She wanted one to go and they wouldn't give it to her.
All right, Larry, what's up? What do you got?
Well, I've been thinking about this since you sent out the message to try to round up some folks to get on here. And I'm not very funny, so I kept thinking, like,
Yeah.
should I try not to, should I keep it clean, or should I?
All right, well,
So anyway, I got, if there's any kids out there, cover your ears and stuff. So anyway, this guy took his son fishing, and they were sitting there on the bank and fishing, and they really weren't catching anything. And so the kid was about 6 years old, and he started losing interest. And so he started looking around, and he saw there on the creek bank there was a big pile of acorns. And then after a little bit, this squirrel swam across the river and grabbed an acorn and swam back. And then another squirrel swam across the river and grabbed an acorn and went back. And then all of a sudden, this one squirrel started swimming across, but it was swimming on its back. And so he gets out to the bank, and it goes over and grabs a acorn, and then it swims all the way back on its back. And he goes, hey, Daddy, why is that one squirrel always swimming on its back? And he goes, well, son, he's just trying to keep his nuts dry. It's all an interpretation.
That's right.
that was absolutely practical and clean. I don't know what was wrong with that.
That's pretty
Oh, man. So how do you get your cell phone drunk?
Spill
Wow.
vodka. I don't know.
You have to serve it screenshots.
bad.
Ah.
I got one. I got something to admit, actually.
Okay.
I've always had a fear of speed bumps. I'm slowly getting over it.
You're slowly getting over it.
Slowly getting over it.
That took a second. We were waiting for the rest of the thing.
That's a time delay.
Also, if you're out, wear a mask. Wear a
There
mask.
you go.
Shirts,
That's right.
whatever you have, wear a mask. It'll help. It's better than nothing.
Anybody
Hey,
else?
That's a real
Anybody
thing.
else?
Ginger had something funny happen to her the other day. My wife's a retired school teacher and a tutor, and she's really friendly, and she happened to be at the store, so she waved at somebody she recognized, and the guy waved back, but he kind of came up and he said, I'm a little taken aback. I know I recognize you, but, do you know me? And she replies, well, I think you're the father of one of my kids. So his mind travels back, and he's thinking, let me see. Oh, my God, are you the stripper from my bachelor party where we had fun on the pool table and my buddies watched you with whipping my butt with the celery stick? But goes, no, I'm your son's teacher.
Oh,
All right. I like that one. So the little kid goes up to his teacher, and I'm a retired teacher, so this is a good one for me. But the little kid walks up to his teacher and says, "Teacher, my wee-wee hurts." And she says, I don't know about all this, but you can go down to the principal's office, talk to them about it. See you in a little bit. So not too awful long later, little Johnny comes back to the classroom, and he's got it out of his pants.
Uh-oh.
And the teacher's like, "What in the world are you doing?" And he said, "Well, the principal said if I could stick it out till noon, he'd let me go home."
Oh no.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
That was good. That was good.
We've taken a turn for the worse.
But luckily, this is like cable. So
Yes. Yes. Anybody else have one for us?
Okay, here's the one I was going to share. It's kind of really corny, but what do you call a deer? What do you call a deer with no eyes?
Mhm.
No idea.
No.
Okay, so here's part 2. What do you call a deer with no legs and no eyes? Still, no idea. No idea. Can we go
No.
slower?
We no.
I was going to say lunch, but
Now, see, that's going to be
That's
stuck.
all I got.
That's going to be stuck in our vernacular, and
that's
so
it.
those of us here is
No, I
like
heard
no idea, and we're going
I
to.
have no idea.
No idea.
And I just haven't forgot it.
Edwin, you got to have another one up your sleeve there.
How do you get a Kleenex to dance?
Oh, I know that one.
No spoilers.
You put a little boogie in it.
There you go.
Uh,
Yeah. All right.
The grandkid told me that one.
Ooh. Oh man, Larry, you got one from the archives, I'm sure.
Well, maybe we'll try to clean it up here a little bit. So, do you know what kind of car the disciples all drove?
Mm-mm.
Anybody?
What kind of car? Who
Nope.
drove?
The
The
disciples.
Oh. No
Okay.
ideas.
No ideas. They all drove a Honda because they all came in an Accord.
Ah.
They all showed up in one accord.
There you go.
Oh man.
Well, the silence is deafening.
It's like watching Jimmy Fallon with no audience, you know.
Oh, they're having a terrible
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's telling a joke and going, I don't know where that went. You know?
You gotta have you gotta have the energy. Oh
Yep.
man. Anybody else have one to share with us?
I've got one my dad used to actually tell. It's a little long if you can bear with me on it, but you want to go with it?
I think we've got time.
All right. So the frog goes into a bank and approaches the teller. And he can see from her nameplate that her name is Patricia Wack. He says, Miss Wack, I'd like to get a $1,000 loan to take a holiday. So Patty looks at the frog in disbelief and asks his name. The frog says, well, my name, of course, is Kermit, but it's Kermit Jagger. My dad is Mick Jagger, and that's okay for you to give me the money. And I know the bank manager. So Patty explains that he'll need to secure the loan with some type of collateral. So the frog says, sure, I have this. And he produces a tiny little porcelain elephant, about a ½ tall, bright pink, and perfectly formed. Very confused, Patty explains that she'll have to consult with the bank manager and disappears into the back office. She finds the manager and says, hey, there's a frog out there called Kermit Jagger. He claims he knows you and he wants to borrow $1,000 and he wants to use this as collateral. She holds up the tiny little pink elephant. And I said, I mean, what in the world is this? The manager looks back at her and says, It's a knick-knack, paddywhack, give the frog a loan. His old man's a rolling stone. Dad told that at Rotary one day.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I tell you what, as we're all here together and we're doing this in the spirit of just good times and trying to give some uplift to the community. We've got community representatives here. If you guys want to take a second and give a shout out to the community, anything you want to say. We don't have any agendas. We don't have any politics, but just on a personal note, is there anything you'd like to say to give the community some kind of well wishes?
I'd like to, coming from, I just left Kroger, I'd like to thank first responders, anyone out there working day to day. These are scary times, and you wouldn't think of someone at a grocery store or at a gas station as a hero, but they are. I mean, without places to get groceries, to get gasoline, to get your essentials, we're all stuck in the mud. So I want to thank them. I mean, not just hospitals, not just nurses. I want to thank everyone out there that's working hard day in and day out for us. It's something that's truly awesome, and it's going to be hard to really thank these people. But a thank you is a thank you. So thank you to all of them.
Fantastic. Anybody else?
I'd like to, thank everyone, of course, for all those workers that are out there right now and the healthcare workers and everything. But more importantly, I'd like for, just everyone to stay safe and pray for the seniors, because my daughter is a senior this year. And that's been a hot topic here as of late. And just pray for everyone.
Very good. Thank you. Jenny?
I just like to tell everyone, we're all in this together. I know it's out of our norm to stay home so much. The hall has never seen me as much as it has lately. But to stay home, stay safe, be well, and you know what? Just keep smiling, because it's going to get better. It really and truly is, and we'll all be back in our normal routine again.
Very good. Chip, you got anything for us?
Well, I just want to say, at the beginning of this, Governor DeWine kind of laid out essential and non-essential businesses, and of course, broadcasting and doing the news like I am. I'm just happy to know I'm essential.
Right.
So that's one good thing.
Right.
And the other thing is, a lot of my sponsors, I want to give a shout out to them because they're hanging in there. We've lost a few because they're closed, and we hope we can help them come back and get back on the road again once we get to open up. I want to personally thank Larry Dale Mullins, who with the EMA has been coming over, being a regular guest, keeping my audience apprised on what's going on, and I want to thank him. And of course, everybody from the grocery worker, the truck drivers that are bringing supplies to us that sometimes we don't normally think about, but those truckers and those people in the back in the meat market doing their job, I want to thank all of them, as well as, of course, all the doctors and everything like Andrew said. So that's all.
Very good. All right, LD, let's hear it from you're right here on the front lines. You are in the thick of it. Give us some good words for the community.
Well, I'd am I on here?
Yeah, you're there.
Okay.
Or
I'd really like to thank the public for what they've done, and the ones that have tried to adhere to the social distancing and the hand washing and staying at home and all that, because it really has helped. And I'd also like to thank our leadership from the city, from the county, our health department people, and of course all the healthcare workers and the doctors, but also the news media like yourself, Mark, and Chip, and even Jenny there, that have gotten the word out and tried to make this the information out there so people have less anxiety and try not to worry so much. There's a lot of information out there, and there's a lot of information that gets kind of misunderstood and things like that. So I think an informed public and is a very good thing, and I really tip my hat to you guys for making sure that everybody knows what's going on. So thank you guys.
Fantastic. Well, listen, I appreciate everybody's participation, and we may do this again. If you have in the comments as you're watching this, go ahead and put in your favorite dad jokes, and you can vote for the jokes that you've heard here tonight, which there were some stellar ones, I must say. And I'm going to close it out with one final dad joke. Are you ready? This is it. This is the grand finale. So a priest, a rabbi, and a hooker walk into the bar, and the bartender says, "What is this, a joke?"
That's the way it ended.
All right, guys, we thank you so very much. So very much.
Thank you, Mark.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.